Hello guys, welcome back to the Android Basics. And today we will talk about the activities life cycle, in which we're gonna go through the all methods which are used to control the activities and control its states during all the life cycle of an activity. So let's start. Today in this lecture we will be talking about the life cycle, what its definition is, and why the name is its life cycle. And we will after that we will talk about changing states of an activity during running its running runtime. So after going through the states, we will go through the activities life cycle. What is that, and what will happen after what? So the sequence of the activities life cycle. After that, we will go through the methods of all methods of the which are used during the activities life cycle. So at the very end, we will go through the app. We will develop an application using those all methods, which we will discuss in the methods section. So let's start to the activities life cycle. So the life cycle basically is the changing states which occur in any object's life. So if we take the example of a human being during a day, a human being, first of all, in the morning, he gets up early in the morning. The getting up is the changing state. So he gets up, it's another state, sorry. And after getting up, he eats something, so it is another state. So these two states are getting up and eating, and going to the office, walking is another stage, talking is another stage, and sleeping is another stage. So these are states which human being goes through the whole day. So this is basically these different states of the life of an object or of a component. So this is basically the reality of the life cycle. What is life cycle? So after that, what are the changing states of an activity? The changing states may be the activity is being created at the very first time when we install it and run it to the Android device. It may be being created at the very first time when we are running to the application. So after that, it may be becoming visible after creating in the system. It will be becoming visible. After becoming visible, the user will maybe interacting starting the interaction with the application. So interacting with the another state would be the interacting with the user. So after interacting, the activity may become invisible when user is changing the application. When user is changing the application, or user want to open another application or another activity, so the following activity or current activity, first of all, it will become invisible. After that, it will no longer visible, mean it will be working in background. So it after that, the invisibly no longer visible. After, it will restart when user come back to the application, and so that at that time it will be restarted. So at the very end time, when the user closes the application, so the application's activity is destroyed because of saving some memory of RAM memory or system memory, whatever you think, talk to it, say to it. So these all are the states of an activity. Activity may be being created, becoming visible, starting interaction with the user. It may becoming invisible. It may be no longer visible to the user. It may be restarting or destroyed. So these all are the states of an activity. After the states of an activity, this is the activities life cycle. So first of all, when we launch the activity, the firstest method which is called by the system is on create. So on create method is basically just like a constructor in any programming language of the class. The constructor of the class which is used to initialize some which is used to some initialization purpose. So if you guys wanna initialize anything, so you can initialize it at the very first start time of your application. After on create, the activity, the system will start the on start method of the activity. On start method. So the on start method, basically these all method would be the overridden method which are which are declared in the super class, which is activity of our class. We will be discussing this super class in while we develop the application. So the after on start, the on resume method will be called by the system. Uh, so after on resume, the activity will be running uh, when we can use the activity. So when the activity is running, after the activity, when another activity comes into the foreground, mean on the screen, when another activity, when user want to start another activity, so this first of all this activity will pause. After that, that activity may be come to the user's foreground. So on the pause, when the user returns to the activity, I mean on the spot, maybe user come back to the activity. So it can be so after on pause, it when user come back to the activity, it will go to the on resume. So when activity become pause, it may be resumed at the very close time. So and and on the other hand, after the on pause method is called, then the user then the when user not come back to this activity, then the on stop method is called by the system. So after on stop, the user when navigate to this activity, when come back to the this activity. So on restart method is called, and after on restarting, the on start will call, and the after on start on resume again is called. So the app is running to the app screen, to the foreground. On this stop and on the pause, this is the app with higher priority need memory. When the app which is a higher priority, mean just like the when someone is calling on our Android device, or on our Android mobile phone, so the this activity will be killed by the application process. So at that time, it will be killed by the system. On the on stop, after the on stop, maybe when it is on stopping, the system is on stopping to the to our application. After that, the app may be killed, because the app with higher priority need memory. So the application which is higher priority based, so it want to run. That's why the system will kill this activity. And after when user navigate to the activity, when user come back to this activity, then the on create method will be executed by the system again. So this process works again and again, and the application uh, works as we need, as we use the application, the process in which we use the application. After we come back to the on destroy, at the very end time, when the user do not want to use our application anymore, mean the user want to shut down our application, then the on destroy method will be called, and all the memory in which the this activity is initialized, some variables are using some memory, so all that memory will be erased, or will maybe used to some other activity. So this activity will be totally removed from the RAM memory. So this is the life cycle, activities life cycle, which the all states which in which an activity may be working. So these all are the states of the activity during its life cycle. So this was the activities life cycle. After that, these are the methods which are called by the during the activities life cycle. So this is the firstest one is the on create method, which is basically we have talked before, that it is used to initialization purpose. So whenever you want to initialize something, so you can initialize it over here. So for the initialization purposes, so the inside the on create method, there's a saved instant state, the object of bundle class. This bundle classes objects is used to save instant state. What was the previous stage of this activity? It was on starting, it was at the resume time, it was on the pause, it was on stopping, or it is restarting or destroying. These all states are saved inside this object. So at the very first time when we are creating this application, creating this activity, then this object will be as null value. In this object there will be null value. So this instance variable, this object is called to the super on create method, because it is the method of activity class which we just extend to the to our activities class, activity.java class. So this is what we just use to why we use on create method in the activity. So it is the very first method. We can say it is the just like the main method of the activity class. After the main method, there is a protected void on start method. On start method, when it is called, when the on create method is called, after that few moments later, after on creating the activity, the on start method is started by the system automatically. So the you can if you write or override these methods in the application, you can override these. But if you would not override these method in the activities .java class, our activities class, then these methods are automatically called by the system, because these methods are obviously declared in the our parent class, our super class, to which we are extends, to which we are inheriting the class in which in our activities class. So whether you will declare these methods or override these methods in the activities or Java class, then these methods will run as we required in the activity. Otherwise, these will run as declared in the activities.java, the superclass. So the onCreate method called when the activity is first created. This is where you should do all of your normal static setup, create views, bind data to lists, etc. You can do whatever you want. This method also provides you with a bundle containing the activities previously frozen state. So if there was one state available, always followed by the on start. So the on create method is always followed to the on start, because mean always, as always after the on create method, the on start method will be called by the system. So you have to know that the on create method is always followed by the on start. After that, the on start method what we are talking about is called after your activity has been stopped. Sorry, on start, when on start method is called when the activity is becoming visible to the user. So when activity is becoming visible to the user, the on start method is called. So the on start method is always followed by the on resume. Mean all the system will always call the on resume method after starting the on after executing the on start method. After that, we have the on pause method, which is basically used to, it is called when the system is about to start resuming a previous activity. This is typically used to commit unsaved changes to the persistent data. So the on pause method is basically used when it is used the when you are just changing the activity, when you are just you have not been interacting to the activity anymore. That's why the on pause method is called. Mean activity is becoming invisible, so at that time the on pause method is called. So after that on pause, there is a on stop method. Basically on stop method is called when the on stop method is called when the activity is no longer visible to the user. Mean it is running in background, it may be running in background, but it will be no longer, mean user is not interacting now to this activity. That's why the on stop method is called. So after the on start, the on restart, mean user is coming back to our activity. User is coming back to the our activity. So the on start method, on restart method is called. After on restarting, the on start method is called again. So as we discussed before, the on restart method basically is why we use. This is basically followed to the on start method, and the on stop method may be followed by the on restart. On stop method may be followed by may be killed by the process and called by on create, followed by the on create method, and at the very end time, the on stop method may be followed by the on destroy method. So these are the methods strategy working in the background of an activities life cycle, which is invisible to us, and we some of these methods we include in our activity.java, but mostly we always use the on create method in our activity. Always use this method to our activity. So so at this time, the on create method is killable or not. Mean are we able to disturb, are we able to stop the execution of the process during the running on create method? No, we will not be able to kill the process during this application. Mean we can we run another application during this execution of this method? So we will not be able to do that, and it will always run, and it have to run because we will unable to kill this method. On start method, which is followed by the onResume method. Basically, onStart method is not even killable by the process. Another application is not able to run during this method's execution. So even if your application, your activity is in the onStart process is executing inside the onStart method, the onStart method is executing in your activity, then the another application cannot be able to run during that process. So after that, onResume method is called, then the no one other application is executed during this calling this during the calling of this onResume method to off the system. So onPause method, whether this method is able to killed by other processes. So this is probably able to killed by other activities or applications. So when this method is called, mean user the activity is invisible to the user, and that's why the during the after this method, the other application may be run may be able to run in the system. After that, the onStop method is called. OnStop method is basically called when the user is not interacting for a long time to our activity. That's why the onStop method is called. After this onStop method is called, the application will no longer visible to the user. So after the onStop, maybe so this is this may be killed by the process. Mean the during after this method, the other application can be run. So after onPause and after the onStop method, maybe other application can run, but it will not run during these methods. So at the end time, during the after the onRestart method is the process will be able to run our other application. So system will not be able to run other application, because onRestart method is basically followed by onRestart method is basically only followed to the by the onStart method. That's why the current running application which is have just executed the onRestart method, it will execute the onStart method after restart the method. So it will not be killed by other process. At the destroy time, whether the on the destroy time another application or another process is called. Obviously, when we just shut our application, then may other application can run on our system. So that was all about the methods and the working of those methods. So after that, we are just gonna use all these methods in our application. So and we check when and at which time the which method is called for one all of these methods, at which time which method is called, what we do, then what happened to the activity, and what run at the background of your activity. So let's see. So in this we will implement all these methods, and after implementing those methods we will test the app, and after testing we will check whether it is the task is done, mean what we were want to check in our application is done or not, the task is done or not. So let's go to the programming. So as we were talking about the all overridden methods, so let's see what is happen in these methods while we override these methods. Let's see, just see guys, onCreate method is overridden in any of your activity class. So whether you will declare or not, it will automatically be declared by the system for us. So this is the onCreate method basically declared by the system for us. So just we see whether it is basically where it is created and why we have to override these methods. So just press the control and hover your mouse cursor in front of this extend app compact activity or whatever the activity class you are using. So just implementing this is basically for the app compact activity is extending the fragment activity. So we just click this fragment activity. So let's see, the fragment activity is basically extending the base fragment activity API 1 Apple 6. So this is basically extending the, so we have just click this one and follow this, and which is extending the support activity, which is extending the activity. So this is the basically activity, and we just gonna go through its documentation. So it's there. So this is the basically our activity class, in which all the methods are declared. First I'm gonna show you those methods inside this. So let's see guys, on start method, on restart method, and a bunch of other methods are declared in this, but these are the overridden methods. So these are the on resume method, and one of all or others are declared in it. Just you guys can see the on pause method. So these all methods are declared over here and coded by the team of Android for us to enjoy the coding of the activity. So these all are the methods of activity class, which we are extending in our current activity. So we will just override those methods in our class. Just as we know, the onCreate method is declared by the system, so we override other methods in the this main activity class. So just override the onResume method. On restart method, this one is the onResume method. So it is just overridden for us, and after that we extend the on pause method. On pause, which is over there. On pause, yes, this one is on pause. After on pause, we will just gonna on stop. On stop. So this is the on stop method. So we have just overridden the on stop method. After the on stop method, we just gonna on restart method. On restart method. After the on restart method, we will just override the on destroy method. On destroy method, which is over there. We have just overridden number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 method of this, and what we are just on start method, which we are just missing in the current application. So let's declare the on start. So here it is, just we have declared these on start method, and now we will just create the logs for log.id. We will just use the log class to confirm which method is just executing by the system. The log class basically is used to just inform the Android Studio's terminal, that which method is the execution is want to do what. It is just used just like the system.out.println method is using whatever it is doing. So this will do same as their theme. So just log .d, it is the way to creating the log. So we are just creating the log of life cycle. Don't give me cycle. After the on cycle, we are just have to write the where is our programming is where is execution is running. So we will just write on create is invoked. So here it is. We have to just gonna copy and paste this method in the each theme. Now at this time the on start method is invoked. So we will paste it in this. The on resume method is invoked. After this we will write this one, and in which we will give the on pause, obviously. After the on stop, here it is on stop, the on stop is invoked. After the on stop, it is on restart is invoked, which is on restart is invoked. At the very final the on destroy method is invoke on destroyed. Destroy method is invoked. Just we will see, we have just done the all coding in our application. So these method whenever these method will run, then the application, then the system will be informed by the emulator that this method is now called, this method is now invoked, this method is now invoked, or whether which one is invoked at the runtime. So we just have to run this application. So now guys, we are running the application, the written code in the Noxt emulator. So this is the Noxt emulator basically. So we have to just run this code. So let's see what is happening. So here it is. Now we're gonna see what is happening in the behind this. So at the very first time, which method is invoked. So this is the basically log classes functionality. So let's see at which time which method is called. So we're gonna just find the onCreate method, which is declared by activity at the very first time. So here it is. The onCreate method is firstly called. After that, as we discussed, the onStart method will be invoked. So it is invoked over here, and after onStart method, the onResume method will be invoked, and the application is now running in front of us. So where is this is the application which is running in front of us. After that, we just gonna see what is happening. It is does not happen anything, so because we have not even interacting with this application. So we're gonna just press enter, and so here it is. The application is open by the Android Studio, and let's see what did happen in this background. So which method is invoked at the very first time. Let's see, here it is. The onCreate is invoked at the very first time. After on invoke, it is on start method, which is just called by the system. After that, the onResume method is executed by the system. So these three methods are have to executed by the system at the very first time. So as these are invoked by this, so let's see and make some changes in the application. So what did happen at that time? Make some changes in it. So just we let the application run in the background. So what did happen? The on pause method is invoked and the on stop method is invoked, because the application is not visible to the user. It is invisible to the user because it is running in the background. And just see, where is it? Here it is. So it is the running in the background. After the we call just use it again. What did happen? And just clicking this, the on restart method is invoked, and guys, just you can see the on start method is invoked. After that, the on resume method is invoked. So it is done. All what we have want to do is done. The application is doing. So whether the we have firstly implemented all the methods which we have to implement in the application, which are overridden by us from the activity class. After that, we tested the application whether it is working. Yeah, it has done what we want to do from it. So in this lecture, first of all, we gone through the activities. What is the life cycle? Basically, what is the definition of the life cycle? What is the exact definition? So after the definition, we gone through the changes may occur in the at the different stages of the at the different stages of the activity. So what was those we have discussed just previously. After that, we gone through the activities life cycle and seen the all scenario of what which method is called after one method. So at the very end time, we discussed all detail of the all methods: the on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on just the restart and destroy. So at the end time, we have made the application which we have tested and seen whether all these methods are running or not. So we have tested and all these methods are running. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening this video and and obviously viewership of it at the very end time. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye bye.